Please state your name and spell it.
Robert Kimble. Last name is Kimble.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Jefferson, Missouri, but I was raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and partly in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
What brought you to Dubuque?
My father raced greyhound dogs. He was in the greyhound dog business, and he brought me to this community just to keep me out of trouble.
Where did you go to school?
In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I went to middle school at Walker Middle School and high school at South Division High School in Milwaukee. And I spent about a year and a half or so at senior high school in Dubuque.
How long have you lived in Iowa?
On and off, not straight, but on and off for about 12 years.
Can you talk about your family?
What in particular do you want to know about my family?
Do you have family in Dubuque?
Yeah, I'm married. My wife, Nellie, she is actually born in Dubuque, so she's a resident of Dubuque. When I married my wife, she had some daughters, so kind of married into a family situation. I got 5 daughters total, some biological, some just through marriage. And yeah, that's my family in Dubuque, and I do have one little brother here.
What is your impression of
Iowa? Great community to raise a family. A progressive community. There's a lot of growth in terms of businesses, and also in terms of a lot of people from different areas migrating into the community or into the state.
What did you do for entertainment when you were young?
I did a lot of breakdancing. I did a lot of rapping. So I was really into the hip hop scene when I was a youth, and I played sports, basketball, football.
What professional experience and positions have you held?
Well, I have been pretty much most of my professional career. I've been a program director. I am a high school basketball coach, and I have also been involved on just a lot of community organizing projects, kind of like Obama.
How has the civil rights movement affected you?
Well, I was born in 1972, so the civil rights movement didn't have an impact on me growing up, mainly because I didn't grow up in the civil rights era. However, a lot of my family are from down south, and they have a lot of stories. So I get a lot of education from my mother and my grandmother and my great-grandmother when she was alive. And they often tell me that the civil rights movement has impacted all of us greatly, but not much directly.
And what organizations have you been involved in?
Well, I have been involved with the NAACP. I've been involved with the Dubuque Community-wide Youth Coalition boards. I've been involved with a lot of the small group community meetings, like the Community Circle of Care, which focuses on mental health issues for youth, as well as Shared Youth Visions, who focuses on developing youth programs and building assets for youth in the Dubuque community.
Why did you choose to get involved in any organization?
Just because when I was a young man, there's a lot of people who were very instrumental in changing my life and putting me on the right path. So as I got older and as I began to realize the impact of the people that give back to the community, I realized that it was my obligation and my desire to do the same.
Who were your connections?
What do you mean by connections?
In organizations.
Who is or who was? Okay. Well, at this point, originally my connections to any of these groups was actually through Cammie Dean. I was not really heavily involved in the NAACP or certain organizations, and Cammie Dean, she just kind of, who was the president of the NAACP at the time, she kind of challenged me to get involved with the NAACP. So she was pretty instrumental in just getting involved in organizations.
How did your family feel about you getting involved?
Honestly, you know, my family, most of my family members, they really don't focus on community issues just because of their lifestyles and the things that they're doing. So I don't have very many family members. However, my wife and my kids, they're pretty proud of me.
What leadership experiences did you have in college?
Well, I helped organize community basketball leagues for the underserved community. Throughout college, I was involved in a lot of grassroots efforts to develop programming to outreach to the community. So I actually attended kind of a Christian college, and I majored in elementary education and theology. And so in my school, they really didn't have a lot of groups that were active, so you really had to create your own opportunities.